Okay, Daniel, it's almost there. Okay, Daniel, it's almost there.
All right, we are live. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the video so the kids can access it through the Chromebook. But we are live. We are live.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our GIS virtual reopening orientation. Tonight would have been our IB night. IB night is always one of the best nights at GIS. We have the most fun. If you think back over the past few years, we have lots of memories of students winning baskets, visiting classrooms, having dinner together, meeting new people, and making new friends within our school community. But we're not able to be in person for IB night tonight, but we are celebrating for IB. The past 3 days, we had a very successful IB visit for reauthorization for IB for our primary years program, TK through 5th grade. So I just want to give a big kudos to our PYP coordinator, Miss Elizabeth Call, and happy birthday to her today, and thank her for her work over the past year and what she's done to bring us to where we are with PYP. Some of the things that the IB team said that they noticed about our school, number one is that we have a great school culture. It is very evident and clear that students and staff want to be at our school, and that if they lived in California, they'd want to work at our school. They'd want their kids to attend in our school. They were actually from Indiana and Georgia. They also said we have great evidence of action in our students, that our students were able to tell them about times that they took action and know that they have impact on the world around them. So kudos to our students. They got to meet our students. Our parents got to meet with them. So thank you to the parents and the students who met with our IB team over the past few days. They were very positive about our language program, that we offer multiple languages starting from a very young age for our children, and we have a high quality language program. And they were very pleased that our Gateway Community Charters governing board is very knowledgeable and well informed and supportive of our school. So thank you very much. We expect a great outcome and a final report from IB in a few months. But kudos to our teachers who also met with the IB team, shared with them the work they're doing, not only right now in virtual, but the work they've been doing over the past 5 years. We've grown a lot, and it was very evident to this team. So we still celebrate IB, but we're celebrating something else tonight. We're celebrating reopening our school. And I'm so excited to tell you that we're happy to welcome students back in just a few days. On Monday, we will be welcoming back our TK, Kinder, 1st, and 2nd grade students. This is really only possible because of a lot of hard work from our staff. And this work didn't just begin on October 13th when the governor said we could return to school. This work has started in the summertime. We began planning for students to return in a hybrid and socially distanced format way back in June and July. And it's because of the hard work that we've done over the past months that we're able to welcome kids back safely on Monday. But this year is going to look different when they return. It's not going to look the same as it did last year when they came to school. It might not be what you envisioned for your child's very first day of school for TK or kindergarten. It's going to look different because with the orders that the governor gave when he issued his order on October 13th, saying that all schools in Sacramento County can return to in-person instruction, they also gave requirements that every school has to meet to bring those students back. Those are called required mitigation measures. They require students to be 6 feet apart. And so we're going to have to bring students back, 50% of our students at a time, so that we can socially distance them in our classrooms. So we first created this plan and presented it to you a few weeks ago through a parent survey. We gathered your input. We listened to you, not just through the survey, but we had very good participation with the parent and guardian survey. Thank you for giving us your input. We had a lot of you call and talk to us and tell us your preferences or reach out to your teachers. We also surveyed our staff. You know, we're not just wanting to keep our students safe, we also have a big responsibility to keep our staff safe. So we surveyed them and what are their concerns as we open up school. So with all of that input, we revised our plan. And we sent out the new plan to you this week on Monday. And so tonight we're going to go through this plan and make sure that everyone has a common understanding of this plan. All of us, all staff, all students, and all guardians must understand and know the details of this plan. Not only must we know it and understand it, we must abide by the mandates of this plan. It's a necessity. It is not optional. If you are agreeing for your child to come back in the hybrid mode in person on campus, you must agree to the mandates to keep them safe and to keep our staff safe while on campus. So while we won't have a first day celebration like we always do, where we ring our bell on the first day, there won't be any hugs or any handshakes like you usually see at the front of our school, but there will be lots of smiles, lots of happy children and happy teachers to see each other in person again, lots of happy hearts and more learning time for students. So with that, I just want to welcome the members of our admin team here. So I want to welcome Ms. Stephanie Croyle, and she is our Vice Principal for PYP, Ms. Deep Dillon, our Vice Principal for MYP, Mr. Daniel Bubella, our Parent Liaison, and Ms. Maria Trinioglo, our ACES Supervisor. So these are key people who have put a lot of work into this plan and into preparing our campus, and not forgetting Mr. Roman Palomar and his team, who has made our campus presentable and ready and safe. We're going to start with a good thing, and Mr. Daniel is going to share with you some good things about our facilities. Mr. Daniel?
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So I'm going to share a quick slideshow about some of the good things going on here at our site. So let me get that open for everyone. Okay. So first of all, what we have here, get my spotlight out. So this first picture is our main hallway. As you guys see, that the big redwood tree is gone. But there are some new trees planted here, some new bushes. So this will provide shade once it grows out a little bit. We got our new benches right here. So this is providing a lot of space and seating, especially outside the NPR when we're going to be lining up for lunches. This will give us a good space over here to separate 6 feet apart. Then we have the main hallway. It's being repainted. This wing right here is the last one being remodeled, and this side right here is now remodeled. I apologize, one second. Okay. Then this middle picture is our drinking fountain out front. So as you notice that our drinking fountain is covered up. And the reason why is just, again, to prevent the spread. We covered all the drinking fountains. These are common areas that students would touch and drink out of. So we had to cover them up, but we have this refilling water bottle station. So you can bring a water bottle and refill it right here. Put the bottle down and refill the bottle. So we encourage families and to bring their own water bottle so that they can refill. We'll always wipe down the button and everything here, but this is a new feature here at GIS. And then what we have here is the outdoor area for our first and second graders from the middle wing. This is the other side of this hallway right here. So just to get a perspective, this is the other side of the middle. This is going to be their patio area. So as you see, we set up these tables under the overhang, and they're going to be bringing out the tables and eating together with their classrooms. Again, preventing the crossing of one cohort or one class with another. We're going to try to keep it separate. When they're eating together, the cohorts will be, they can have their masks off and eat together. What we don't want is a student from one class going over to another class and then creating cross contact. And if there's cross contact, they need to wear their masks and they can't eat and wear their masks. So we're also going to plan for an overhang. So we'll put up canopies right here. So during the rains, the students will quickly eat out here, and then they can go back into their classroom for rainy day. So that's a neat area, a big area, plus all the gardening and self-gardening they can do. So I'm going to move to the next slide. These are the bathrooms remodeled in both of our hallways. This is the boys' bathroom and this is the girls' bathroom. So as you see, the tiling, all the new features. An interesting thing to mark right here is there's a plexiglass little screen right here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but this is to prevent any contact between the two that are washing their hands. We'll also have staff members monitoring bathrooms. They're not going to go inside and monitor and watch kids in the bathroom, but they are going to be outside of the bathroom, making sure that only a few kids are walking in and out of the bathroom so that there's not large groups in the bathroom, preventing big groups gathering. There's also on the walls the soaps, the hands-free little soaps. They just put their hands on there and they can wash their hands. And we don't have the hands-free paper towels, but they still have the paper towel there. Another feature of the bathrooms, each classroom is going to be assigned a bathroom. So during like the recesses and the lunches where there's a lot of traffic in the bathroom, we assigned each class to a certain bathroom so that classroom, so that group of children, that classroom just goes to one bathroom during big like recesses and lunches. If students are in the classroom and they need to use the restroom, they don't have to walk all the way to the other side of the campus to use their assigned bathroom. They can use the closest one. But during the high traffic area, the high traffic time to use the restrooms, we've designated areas to keep the cohorts and the classes separate so that we prevent the spread. All right, my next few pictures is our NPR. So in our NPR, we have repainted everything. As you see, the blue, the white. We have resurfaced the floor. So this is new flooring, repainted lines on the floor. And also there's new tables on the walls that those tables come out. We're not going to be, again, using those tables for breakfast or lunches yet, again, due to the circumstances. But the kids will come in here, pick up their breakfast and their lunches, and they'll go back to their class. So there'll be staff members escorting the students from the NPR to their classrooms. And again, all of this will be with social distance. We're going to be putting tape outside and letting only limited amount of people into the NPR and having just following the guidelines, not having big groups, and having students still pick up their food and still able to go back to their classroom. Also, I didn't add this in the picture because you can't really see it, but we have a new AC system and new heaters in every classroom all over our site, San Juan. Thank you to them. Thank you to the construction team. Thank you to all our staff members. I've been working really hard to get our site ready. Thanks to San Juan, they replaced all of the filters for all of the rooms in every AC unit, every unit where it blows air, so that there's clean and filtered air that is being circulated into our rooms. So that's also a good thing for our NPR. So here's our blacktop. This picture up here on the top left, as if you remember, we had a fence that was here blocking off this whole area. Now that fence is gone. So now we're able to use this whole area. Again, the drinking fountain right here will be covered. So the only area where they can get the water is from the front of the school. We have covered all the drinking fountains to, again, prevent cross contact and the spread. So the blacktop is totally free. They just finished washing it. That's why there's a lot of water here. They were cleaning and spraying down the blacktop from all the construction residue. All this will be moved. No status on the container right now. But if we look down here on the other side of the blacktop, the wing that is being remodeled, they have put a fence. So this whole area will be blocked off. So for PE will be done on the field, at the baseball diamonds. That area will be designated for PE. But this area right here will be blocked off. This whole wing will be blocked off. So as you see the fences, again, moving to the top right, and the field over here will work out schedules for who's playing on the field, who's playing on the blacktop, and who's playing on the playground. So this is another shot of the blacktop. If you guys remember the fence that used to block, now it's open. So it's nice because we have access to the other bathrooms now to continue to keep the groups separate during recesses and lunch. We've also created schedules to keep students separate on which playing area they're going to be. So we have about, let's say, 6 classes out on the out playing recess, or 3 classes out playing recess. So 3 first grade classes, for example. Each first grade class will be assigned 1 week. 1 class will be assigned to the playground. 1 class will be assigned to the blacktop, and 1 to the field. And then we rotate every week. So at the end of each week, let's say 1A was at the playground, 1A would be on the blacktop for the second week, and then we do a rotation to, again, prevent cross contact. I know that we're going to be mentioning more information about face masks during recess. Again, don't worry, if you're 6 feet apart from everyone, you're not near anyone, you don't have to wear a face mask if you're playing. If you're with the same cohort, you're in the same class, and it's like a family. It's like you have that herd immunity where you build it up, and when they're together, even if they're not 6 feet, they don't have to wear the masks. But if they're going to be playing with kids from other classrooms and they're closer than 6 feet, that's when they have to wear masks. So kids can play with any class, with any of the students, but they have to wear masks when they're not 6 feet close to each other. So there's going to be more detail about that in the upcoming plan. This is the classroom. We have our TK classroom, Ms. Reynosa's classroom, getting ready. Each student will have their own baskets in the classroom. They'll go over more of the procedures in the classroom, but they're spread out, socially distant. This is another second grade classroom. This is another second grade classroom. Again, they're all spreading out. If students are sitting at their desk, they're spread out from everyone. They don't have to wear their masks. But if the teacher comes up to them, both teacher and student have to wear masks because they're in close contact with one another, helping one another. Okay, so as you see, the new remodeling, the paint, again, just a reminder, the filters have been replaced, new curtains, new carpet, new furniture, just new new BenQ boards. So a lot of just remodeling done. This class was done this very nice dark purple color. Over here, Ms. Reynosa's class, a little lighter. So all the classes have been redone, or all the classes we're using are redone. So moving on. So very important. So great thing, what we have is all of our gates around the whole school have been remodeled. Once you drive up to the school, you'll see a lot of signs. So please, when you enter the school through our entrances, please follow the signs. We're going to go over more detail about what each entrance means, but please follow the signs and the staff members that will be guiding you. Parents, please remain in your cars. We have staff members that will help you. So first, we have our TK gate, which is on the north roof side of the school. This is a small gate closer to the front of the school. This is where TK will be entering. We'll have staff members here escorting TK to their classroom. On the top over here, we have Morse gate. This is the back of the NPR room over here. If you remember the side, this gate will be open. Again, we'll be escorting students out to their cars, to their parents. We have a protocol we're following for how we're going to dismiss students. So parents, please, when you drive up, please, again, stay in your cars and follow the signs and instruction of staff members. We're here to help. It's going to be a little bit more structured and a little bit more organized about how we're dismissing, again, following guidelines and protocol for that reason. This next gate right here, Arden Ridge Gate, is in the back of the school, all the way in the back portables. This is Arden Ridge right here, the little street behind the portables. As you see, the gate is still not finished. They will be working on pouring out the concrete tomorrow on Friday, and we plan to have this finished by Monday after school. So for Monday, this gate will not be accessible to go through for arrival. I apologize for arrival, but it will be available for departure. So Monday after school, this gate is planned to be ready. So that's good news. And this last gate right here, we have the Northrop Gate. This is a smaller gate on the backside of the school. As you see, this is the portable. This is the portable right here. And again, this is a new gate that we used to have it a little bit closer to the portable, little entrance, but now we have a little bit bigger. This is towards the back. It's on the same Northrop side, so don't get confused about the TK gate. This is the TK gate in the front of the school, and this is the Northrop gate at the back of the school that will be for, again, assigned arrival and departure. So 2 gates on Northrop side, one for TK and one called the Northrop gate. So this one will be called the TK gate, and this one will be called the Northrop gate, so you won't be confused. Again, there will be signs and staff members here to help with arrival and departure. All right, and I think that does it. Thank you, everyone, for the hard work preparing the site, to our custodial staff, to Mr. Roman, to our construction teams, to our San Juan representatives, and all that they've been doing. I want to just shout them out again and thank them for preparing our site. It's looking very beautiful. They've been very helpful with us, very flexible, and we've been requesting a lot back and forth, and they've been doing a really awesome job just accommodating all of our needs. So we're very thankful for our new school site and excited to have everyone back. So that is a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. So I feel like you've already shared part of our plan for us. So maybe there's less that we have to share as we go along, but those are all very good things that are happening at GIS. So can you guys someone confirm with me a thumbs up that you can see the screen share in our plan? Yes, okay. So now we're going to get into the details of our plan. What I want to reiterate is this part in red is in red for a reason. Because this plan is subject to change with short notice based upon any guidance from the state or the county health department. So that's not what we want to do. We don't want to change it with short notice, but if the county or the state requires us to, we will have to. Of course, our goal is always to give you as much notice as possible. But when are students returning? We're not going to go through this whole plan word for word, and I'm not going to be the only one talking. We're going to take turns who is sharing. But we're just going to highlight some of the parts. But again, I want to reiterate, it's very important that you take time to find the link to this plan that I texted to you and emailed to you. And Mr. Daniel has now put it on our website. So please take time to read through it. So we're not going to go through everything, but we are going to point out the parts of this plan that we think are really important for you to know before students return. But please be responsible for yourself and know the details of this plan. First, as I've already said, TK through 2nd is starting Monday. And then 3rd through 5th will start the next Monday, November 2nd. And 6th through 8th grades will start after parent-teacher conferences on November 16th. We are doing this phased-in plan to allow us to train each group of students sufficiently. So like we said, it's not going to be the same. The way we have school, the way we arrive, the way we have recess, go to lunch, and dismiss is different. And we need time to focus on each individual grade span and teach them the things they need to know. And it's very important that we get it right. And so we want to focus on each grade span and support the teachers during this time, right? Because this is a big change for them as well. And we think this will be really helpful for the students to come back in a phased model. So you have a choice as families. You can choose the hybrid model where students are in person part-time and also doing work at home, or you can choose distance learning where they're 100% learning online. You will have the option for distance learning all year long. And we will stay hybrid as long as the county will allow us, and we will continue to add more learning time in person as the county allows us. But here are the models that we're offering starting Monday. Transitional kindergarten, because they only have 15 students enrolled in TK, they actually can all come back socially distanced every day, Monday through Thursday. So that's their option number one. And then Friday for all students is online, or they can stay distance learning. Kindergarten through 8th grade. If they choose hybrid learning, they will come to school either Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday. And so we have split the students in groups based upon their last name. So students with the last names A through L will come to school Monday and Wednesday, and students with the last names that start with M through Z will come Tuesday and Thursday. All other students will be working at home online. On the day they're not at school, then they will have independent work. They will also have 1 or 2 or possibly even 3 Zoom classes at home. And then again, Friday is online for everyone. And it's a similar program for 6th through 8th. But what I want to reiterate here, I'm sorry, I don't really understand what's going on with this mouse, is that whether you choose hybrid or distance learning, your schedule is going to change. If you choose distance learning, you are not going to have the same distance learning schedule that you have right now. Why? Because our teachers cannot teach hybrid in the same distance learning schedule we have right now. It has to be modified. It has to be doable and realistic for our teachers. We want them to be successful. When teachers are successful, your students learn more. And so every student's schedule will change whatever model you choose, hybrid or distance, and it will change when your grade level starts their blended learning model. So for TK, Kinder, First, and Second, it will change Monday, and your teachers will give you your new schedule tomorrow. For third, fourth, and fifth grade, it will change November 2nd, and your teachers will give you your specific schedule the Friday before. And for 6 to 8, it will change November 16th, and those students will get their schedule the Friday before. So that's a little bit about the learning models, and that's the chart. And then this page is just the same written version of what I just said in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to stop now and turn it over to Ms. Coyle, who is going to talk about face masks, which I'm sure is a topic of interest for everyone.
All right, thank you so much. So yes, face masks. I want to let every family know that if you are bringing your child back to school, we are so excited to see them. They will need to have a face mask with them. So as soon as they're out of the car, they should be wearing their face mask. And if on a day you've forgotten, that happens, we will have some disposable face masks for the children as well, okay? Please remember that every day before you send your child to school, you need to perform a daily health screening. Make sure they're well, they're healthy, they're vibrant, and ready to go to school. If you feel like they're just not feeling right, they need to stay at home, particularly during this time. So to keep them healthy and well hydrated, please remember, like Daniel said, please send them with a water bottle. We have that water filling station so that they can just get their water that they need every day. When students arrive, they should arrive between 8 and 8:30. We will be providing breakfast every day, of course. They'll be picking up their breakfast in the NPR and either taking it to their area. They'll know where they'll know where to go. We'll be just, showing them where to go on the first few days. Middle school will be staying in the NPR, eating there. TK will be eating outside of their classroom, and TK will be arriving through the TK gate. Okay, so that's a very special gate only used for TK, for arrival, and for dismissal. So please don't try to drop off any of your older children at the TK gate or pick them up at the TK gate. That won't be allowed. Please remember that you'll drop your children off and you won't be coming onto campus. So remember, stay in your car, drop them off. We have multiple paraeducators and people on staff that are going to be watching for your children. They'll make sure they're safe and they get from the car to their classroom safely. Okay. Now for dismissal, Mr. Daniel already went over the gates, so that's wonderful. On the new schedules you'll be receiving for the Fridays before the kids come, there is going to be a breakdown. So you can see the breakdown here on the screen. It is the 2:45 for TK and Kinder. The last name's A to L and A to F. This will all be broken down for you and you'll know which gate to go to. It will be on the schedule for your student. All right. Then there's a 2:45 for TK and Kinder. And yes, Kinder is coming back on Friday. There were some questions in the chat box. Monday. They're coming back on Monday. And the Kinder children will be dropped off on the Morse side. So please don't use the back side. We've been using both, but now we're not going to use the back side by Pilgrim Hall. We're going to use the west parking lot, and there will be paraeducators there to help your child out of the car and to help them to get some breakfast into their classroom. Okay, so yes, absolutely. And then for kindergarten, you'll also pick up the west lot on Morse, and we're doing that at 2:45, so that if you have children that are older on the other campus, you can go at 3 o'clock to get them. Okay, so it is divided by last names, the Morse Gate, Northrop Gate, and Arden Ridge. And please, again, look this over before you come on Monday. And you can also reference the schedules that the teacher will be passing out on Friday. All right, so masks, I want to just one more time to say, if the children are within 6 feet of each other, they will be wearing their masks. It's just important for their health and their safety and for the safety of our teachers as well. So they will be playing with each other in their own cohort, and they'll have their own special place to play on the recess on the playground. So if there's going to be a few different areas, there'll be the play structure, the soccer field, and also the blacktop. If they're on the blacktop 1 week, they'll be somewhere else the following week. So they're going to be able to still have full range and use of all of our equipment and facilities. It just won't be with the entire student body. It'll just be with their cohort. Again, staying safe. Okay. Now, the first few days will be spent learning hygiene, proper hygiene, and all the routines they're going to need. Where to go for the bathroom, how long to wash your hands, making sure they're using sanitizer, keeping their hands from their face. That's just something that young kids always need to learn anyway. They'll be learning where to go, which gate. Now we will be escorting TK, Kinder, first and second to their gates. So they will always have someone walking with them. Okay, so they will be escorted. The third through, TK eats, sorry, I was looking at my text here. I was making sure I didn't miss something. And I don't know where I was. So I'm sorry about that. Oh, routines. 3rd through 5th grade, and then middle school will be walking on their own to their gates, but their teachers will be showing them where to go. Okay. Mr. Coy, did you want to interject at all?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, perfect. Teachers are going to continue to maintain and assign their work to the Google Classroom and the Seesaw platforms. So what you're already familiar with, we're going to stick with that. You know that. And we also have kids at home, so we're going to make it easy for the teachers just to transition. Also, please remember, no visitors on campus, parents in classrooms. If you want to volunteer, reach out to the teacher and see if there's anything they can send home, and then you can work that way. Okay, you can volunteer that way. During every passing period and during every recess, there will be, just like Mr. Daniel said, there will be an adult at every single bathroom, monitoring and making sure there's no more than 2 people at a time using the facilities. As soon as they come out, we can let the next one, we're not gonna have any congregation in the bathrooms. We wanna make sure they're nice and healthy again. On their learning days, the students will continue, sorry, I just jumped around. The students will continue using the Seesaw and Google and will upload their assignments. They will be turning in any actual paper packets. So they're just going to continue what they're already doing. All right. All right. Materials and foods. Please remember, they're not going to be sharing their snacks. Kids are so sweet and they want to share, but please remember to remind your kids their snacks are their snacks and they're not going to be sharing. They're also not sharing their materials. So we made sure they have everything they need. Okay. All right, are we on arriving? Perfect. The arrival on campus. Parents and guardians, just remember, stay in your vehicles. We have plenty of adults that are going to be helping escort your children and making sure they're safe. They're going to be dropped off at the Morse, TK, and Northrop. Yes, okay, so drop off will be at Morse in the front, TK on the side, Northrop also on the side, and the west side of the church parking lot, like I had said earlier. Please do not walk your children up to drop them off. Again, we're trying to limit contact, okay? Just drive through. All right, and for departing, again, please do not walk up to pick up your kids. Stay in your car, and we're going to escort the children from the line that we'll have already created and walk them to your car. They will be safe the whole time. We also want to monitor where they're going. There are going to be signs that are posted. Please follow the signs. And the kids must be picked up on time. So 2:45, if that's your pickup time, please be there. The kids will be ready, 3 o'clock or 3:15. If you come in on time, it'll be nice and smooth. We'll get your kids in your car and you'll be off for the rest of your day. Okay. All right, I think that's it. Thank you, Mr. Coy.
Thank you. And picked up on time because there's no after school program, right? So because we're having to put a lot of staff in a lot of places on campus to supervise and escort students, we are using our ACES staff during the school day. So we are not offering after school childcare or our after school enrichment program Monday through Thursday, but on Friday, we are still offering our virtual Friday clubs, which I'm so proud of our ACES staff for offering. And so now, Ms. Dillon, can you take over?
All right, good evening, everyone. So I'm gonna, this whole thing is posted, of course, what is the school day going to look like for our students, but I'll talk a little bit about some of the key components out of here. So that way I can share some things. Like Ms. Coyle had said earlier, and Mr. Daniel and Mr. Coy, face coverings are required when they are in certain distance from their peers or teacher. So during all transition periods, so when they're moving, going to recess, or when they're coming into school, or when they're at dismissal, or when they're getting in line to go get their lunches, face covering will be required, because at that point, we're not having 6 feet distance between our kids. We just want the whole class to be able to go together. So all of those common times, we are asking our students and staff to keep their face coverings on. And of course, we're going to be providing them with those little lanyards on first day of school, so the kids can hang their little face masks, because chances of them losing are very high. I have 2 little ones, so I know the feeling of that. So we'll be providing those to them to hang their little mask on them for the younger students. And like Ms. Coyle has said, if they, for some reason, forget to bring it, or they end up losing one of their face cover, we will have disposable ones to provide for our students. Recesses are staggered, so students will stay in their cohort. So they won't be sharing cohorts for that reason. So they will be staying within their cohorts, and it's only one grade level at a time that will be going out to recess. And students cannot bring any of their personal items to use at recess. So please don't have your child bring their favorite soccer ball or their basketball to school. We don't want to lose it, and we don't want them sharing it. And we would rather just use our own personal material. And we are actually going to be opening the playground structure. So thank you
that.
for taking that out. The playground structure will be opened, and students will take turns weekly as a cohort to have that as one of their areas to play on, like Ms. Coyle was starting to mention earlier, in their designated areas. And then sharing of instructional material. So a little bit about that. We will be disinfecting our classrooms with a special spray in the evenings so that everything is cleaned. Books and any desks and chairs and any surface areas that are regularly used. So they'll be disinfecting those areas. And of course, we all know that we are going to be, cleaning all the doorknobs and everything multiple times of the day. What are the requirements for face coverings and personal protective equipment, or the PPE stuff? So face coverings will be provided for staff and students and must be brought to school every day. So they have to have those every day. And like I had mentioned a little bit earlier, we are going to be giving our students a lanyard on the first day of school to have around their neck and put their face cover on, their face mask on it, so that they can have it at all times and don't lose it. So that'll be provided. We want the students to have possibly put their name onto their face masks. So we'll have some markers on the first day of school for teachers to help them to put their names on that, for the little ones, of course. And so students are required to keep track of their masks and clean them appropriately. So please, just like we come home and wash our clothing, same thing with face masks, they should be washed as well. And teachers and staff are allowed to wear transparent face shields when social distancing is practiced. So they don't have to wear a face mask all the time. They can have just a shield on as long as they're socially distant from the students. So that's a little bit of that. And then we're going to move on to, will school meals be served? So if you can scroll down a little bit more, Mr. Coy, thank you. So yes, school meals are being served, like Ms. Coyle had just mentioned earlier. Kindergarten will eat in the Pilgrim Hall. All the TK students will eat in their own classroom, and the rest of them have designated areas just for their cohort to sit and eat. And we have someone supervising all of those areas at all times, so our kids are not crossing cohorts. Dinner will be served as a pickup option only. So at 3:15 dismissal, students are able to pick up dinner and take it home. Meal pickup is still available for students who are going to stay on distance learning. So if you are doing distance learning, you can still come to school and pick up your meal, and those details will come to you guys later on times and when. Students can still bring their own lunches if they choose to. And food is not going to be shared, so please do not send extra meals with your child to share with their peers, as much as kids love to share, and we appreciate them wanting to share. Just keep reminding them, please go ahead and eat your own lunch and don't share with your friends, or don't take food from your friends. Don't ask for food. So no shared treats, communal food, no more birthday potlucks that our kids like to do, or bring cupcakes. Right now, we're gonna put those on hold until further notice to everyone. So that's that, and I believe I'm done. And of course, you're more than welcome to go through this, and please read it more in depth so you can see everything. We don't want you to read word for word, so we're just trying to pick and highlight what we wanted to share with you guys today. With that, I'm passing it back to Mr. Coy.
Thank you, Ms. Dillon. So also up in face masks, we did talk about, there was a section about some students who are not required to wear face masks, such as anyone who's under the age of 2, and anyone who has a medical issue where they can receive a waiver from their doctor. So the only students who will be exempt from that are those who actually have waivers from their doctors. But we will continue to serve our students with disabilities, even through this model. We also want to keep those students safe. If they have special needs, we are serving them not only through the hybrid reopening process, but also through distance learning. And I just want to commend our RSP teacher and our RSP paraeducators and our support staff for continuing to provide these individualized services to our students. So it's very important that we keep our campus clean. We have lots of rules and guidelines that we have to follow for doing that. Mr. Daniel already mentioned that the students must bring their water bottles. They will be allowed opportunities to fill them in their classrooms if they have a sink in their classrooms, or at our water bottle filling station. And we are also renting and adding to our campus hand washing stations outside. Our 10 portable classrooms do not have sinks in them. So that presents a problem when we're asking students to wash their hands more often. So to mitigate that, we are renting hand washing stations to put outside, one for every 2 classrooms on the Blacktop, for when 3rd through 8th grade comes back to school. Of course, we will have all signs and protocols in place. In addition to San Juan providing filters within our classrooms, we are also purchasing medical grade air filters for every classroom. And so this was a special need and concern expressed by parents at our school site council meeting, but also by teachers. And so we don't think we can be too careful. And so if we can do something to mitigate any exposure, we want to do it. And so we are providing medical grade filters for every classroom. Also, we're requiring staff to be tested before they start school. And so we're very close to every single staff member having been tested negative. And once we are all tested at the beginning of school, now we will all be tested every other month. So we talked a little bit about hand washing and sanitizing, and if you're watching, I want to encourage you to put any questions you might have in the chat here on YouTube, because we know you can read this whenever you want to. It is accessible for you. So we want you to know that this time is available for you to ask questions for us. And Mr. Daniel is monitoring the chat, and he's sending me the questions so that we can answer them for you. And we're going to do our best to answer any specific questions that you have once we get towards the end. So we just want to remind you that we are providing all personal protective equipment for our students and for our staff, and that we're requiring that they all use them appropriately. And again, have cleaning schedules for bathrooms and classrooms that are necessary. Last section is really what happens if someone at GIS tests positive or has symptoms of COVID. Well, we absolutely hope this doesn't happen and that no one comes to work sick or sends kids to school sick, right? But should they be at school and become sick, we have a plan for what we should do. Teachers have been told you must send any student to the office if they are feeling sick, where we will then isolate them and call them parents to be picked up. This is really important because, you know, I can think of numerous times where we have called parents to come pick up their students at 11 a.m. and they don't come pick them up till 3 p.m. That's not going to be okay now. When we call you to come pick up your kid, you're going to need to come right then. That's part of your understanding and agreement when you sign up for the hybrid program. If your kid is sick and we call you, you have to come get them immediately. So please think about that and make proper arrangements if you're working. Okay, if I'm working, I'm going to have a backup plan for someone who can come get my child if I can't come or I can't leave work, or have to inform my employer, hey, I have to leave, be prepared, this might happen. So please make plans in advance, right? That's what we do if someone has symptoms, okay? If someone tests positive, we will work with the Sacramento County Office of Public Health to determine what our next steps are. But they will help us determine contact tracing. Who has been exposed to this student? Who might need to quarantine for 10 days or for 14 days? They will tell us what to do, and we will follow all of the Sacramento County's suggestions for quarantining. Okay, and of course, through all of that, we have to keep students and staff information, healthcare information and details private and confidential. So don't think that you're gonna call and say, I wanna know who tested positive, right? We still have to follow laws for keeping information private, and we will share with you what we can and absolutely inform you if your child had been exposed or had any concern. But you know, this is part of why we are trying to put students in cohorts and limit the mixing of the cohorts. Because if one student in this cohort or one teacher in this cohort tests positive or gets sick, we only have to quarantine this cohort. But if we have the cross mixing of the cohorts, where if 1A had contact with 1B and 1C, now we would have to quarantine all of first grade or all of middle school. So that's why we're being very careful with our cohorts and with our schedules. It's not to keep students from playing with their friends. It's to keep them safe within their stable cohort. Okay. And then of course we would work with the Sacramento County and our school nurse to help these students return to school when it's the appropriate time. So we had one question in the YouTube chat, and it was, if for whatever reason the hybrid model doesn't work for my kids, can I withdraw and change to distance learning? Yes, you can change from hybrid to distance at any time, but you cannot change from distance to hybrid at any time. You can change from distance to hybrid now in November, or for TK through 2nd October, before the start of the blended model for your grade level. And then you'll have another chance in January. And then you'll have a chance at the end of trimester 2 or trimester 3. These are the only 3 times where you can go from distance learning to hybrid. But you can go from hybrid to distance at any time. It's always your choice to switch back to distance learning. So someone has a question about what would the day and schedule look like for the days when kids are not in school. That's a very good question, and it's dependent upon the grade level. And so that's why it's hard to share that exactly, but staff, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm thinking is for TK through 5th on their day off, when they're not present or they're not expected to join Zoom with their cohort, they are assigned independent work, number 1, online work. So the independent work could be paperwork, that maybe things were copied or sent home, or given books that they already have at home. It can be online activities that teacher assigns, and at least 2 Zoom classes on their day off. So for elementary, we want them to continue to join classes on their day off for math. We think it's really important that the students have a daily method and daily lesson in math, and they do not get behind in the curriculum for math. So we want them to join for math, and then they will have an elective that they join for on their day off, whether it be world language or music. Am I correct, Ms. Cora? Ms. Dillon, is that true for MYP on their day off? They join on their day off for their elective class for Zoom?
Yes, and for MYP, the elective class is either their design and technology class or their visual and performing art class, so depending on the grade level.
Okay. Some very good questions, right? Any other questions, Mr. Daniel? I want to make sure that we are addressing any questions that parents might have.
No, that last question, that was it. I don't see any other questions here.
Okay, so I see that Mr. Roman has joined us. I just want to publicly thank Mr. Roman for his work in getting our site ready. I can't express to you how hard this man has worked over the last month. We all know it. We've all seen it. And he's not only physically worked himself, but he's led his team, the people under him, to get our site ready. And Mr. Roman, we are so, so very thankful for your work, and we applaud you. And you can't imagine what it's like to try and get this site ready for coming back to school, moving half of the furniture out of the classroom, and then rearranging the furniture that's in there so it's 6 feet apart, making sure it all fits in the middle of construction. So, Mr. Roman, kudos to you. We are so thankful. We know that we would not be able to start school without the work you and Mr. Michael and Igor have done. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. So with that, that's the end of our orientation information that we have for you. But in closing, I just want to encourage you as a family to follow the Sacramento County guidelines so that it is safe for you to return to school, and that when you return to school, it's safe for us and for our staff as well. So just reminding you to not to gather in large groups, and reminding you to stay socially distanced even then when you can, or to wear a mask when you go out, and to stay home when you're sick. So please help us. It's not just about Sacramento County moving down from the red tier to the orange tier. It's now about keeping GIS open, right? Because we want to be able, when we bring our kids back to school, we want to keep them in school. We don't want to have to go back and forth from in-person to online to distance. So we want to be able to keep our kids in school, and that's going to take all of us working together to keep our families and our children safe. So there is one question about requiring temperature checks at home. Yes, we're asking you to be in charge of checking your child's temperature. Some schools were thinking maybe we'll check temperatures at the gate, because there's also been many times where kids are in the office at 8:35 with a temperature. So please be responsible in checking your child's health before they come to school, knowing whether or not they have a temperature. If you need help finding a digital thermometer, we have some great brochures that you can call, and Miss Galena can give you some information about how to get a free digital thermometer for your family. So we can help you with that, but we are not going to be the ones taking temperatures. The students and the families have to monitor their own health before coming in, as well as the staff has to monitor their own health before coming in. So that's all we have for our orientation, and we thank you for joining us. Remember, you can call the school at any time, but we very much look forward to celebrating with you on Monday when our TK, Kinder, first and second grade students return. So thank you, and have a great evening. And remember, every day is a great day to be a Grizzly. Good night.